Space Nerds, Alpha 4.8 is out. We are all very aware of this. It's been lighting up our news feeds for the last 2 weeks, but we are Star Citizen fans and there's always something else to care about. So today we're going to go over what might be coming in Alpha 4.9. It's going to be an interesting one. We've got some stuff to look at from the monthly reports recently. We've got some stuff to look at from Star Citizen, CitizenCon last year. And we've got some stuff that just kind of comes from my head. That's speculation that may or may not be true, but you know, we're space nerds. This kind of stuff's fun. So stick around and we'll talk about the more for sure stuff first. The biggest thing that everybody is wondering is when is instancing coming to Star Citizen? We've got 2 different major content drops that will depend on instancing this year, and that's 2 out of the 4 that have already been planned. First was, well, actually, I guess there were, was it 4? So we got the first drop of Nyx content last year. That was this.
The Nyx system as the system was being established. But you'll also see some additional design cues that QV's planetary services were adding.
Yeah, it was 5. It was 5. So we got the second drop of content in Rockcracker.
Or you're going through.
This content is for players who enjoy mining, who enjoy exploration, investigation, and don't mind a little bit of FPS content while they're there.
A little bit. A little bit. There's plenty. So that was the second content drop of the year in Nyx. And then we got all this ship stuff. And then our third content drop that just happened with 4.8.
This space where you will find 3 big arms. You will see in the middle, you will have this big energy core. Everything here has a purpose. It's not just for the show, just something nice to see.
So that is 3 content drops so far, but we do have some more stuff coming up. First, the most exciting thing I think of the year, just because it has the most visually appealing presentation, and that is Nyx planets and Planet Tech V5.
Related to a particular geology that look like they originated from the same source. And this ties into how we'll be distributing minables in much more interesting ways too.
This is huge. This is one of those things that's not just a new location. This is going to be a technological change, and the Planet team does not miss. They don't miss. I mean, there are a couple things in the planets that are a little bit noticeable and obvious, but I think those are more legacy artifacts of older techs, and when they were implemented, they were novel, just like I think this will be when it's implemented. When is this coming? We don't know, but we've covered this multiple times on the channel. We've seen what developers like Ali Brown are saying. They feel like they're pretty close to being complete as of early this year. And as of last year, they were saying this was going to be coming in just to the Nyx planets. I don't remember if they said they were going to drop Nyx 1 and then Nyx 2 and Nyx 3, or if they're going to do all 3 at once. I think they said they were going to go one at a time. I can't be sure. You guys probably remember that.
Unique. Anyway, that's our update on the Planet Tech portion of Genesis and how we're using it right now to sculpt the identity of Nyx 1. And I hope you're as excited as we are to explore this and everything we haven't shared yet next year.
Yeah, so we're probably just going to get Nyx 1 and then the other planets after that. Nyx 1's really the important one. The other 2 are a smog world and a gas giant, I believe. So you don't have too much else to worry about in the Nyx system, but this will do a lot to expand that system. I think it'll make Nyx the most popular system because you're going to have new versions of outposts here. You're going to have Starkitect on this planet, which is going to include a lot of points of interest with missions tied in that keep you active in local areas rather than sending you back and forth between planets and moons and stuff. So I do think people are probably going to want to settle down here a lot more. It'll also obviously have the new version of our mission system, likely giving you better support for running those missions. So when this releases, it'll be interesting to see if Stanton and Pyro get hurt because of it. Certainly the game will be a little different. That being said, this is not what I'm expecting in 4.9. I think it's still a little ways out. And I think we probably would have seen some teasers for it right now, but maybe. Either way, that is, again, just 4 of 5 content drops of the year. We do have, 6 content drops. We have 2 other ones. First, we have the, I guess technically crafting was one of the content drops, kind of. This is a tech drop. Municipal works. Here's another one that we're looking forward to. This was originally supposed to be an R-Corp, but they have moved it to Levski, likely to help build out Nix before they go back to Stanton to do more stuff later.
So inside the facility, you'll find huge vaporization chambers, old processing plants, industrial tunnels, and eventually into the old turbines, which are still pumping heat into the old rock.
So this is the true history of Levski. This is a place where you won't see in Lorville, you won't see in I-18 or the other landing zone. It's the pure basis of Levski. You will have, of course, metal and tunnels and more structural plays, but you will also see a lot of rock and cave. So it's not a place you go to take vacation. It's really a place you go to fix stuff.
Not everybody has what it takes to come down there and do the job that needs to be done.
All of your sewage systems have stopped working. Everything's going to quite literally. And so the player is tasked with their group, most likely, to go into there, take out the outlaws, and get the facility working again.
Combat! This is more opportunity for you to get around, explore, find some things, shoot some people. You know, like a classic action-adventure location in a game. I love this stuff, man. This is my favorite kind of stuff, especially if they're putting stories in there. Little pieces of data you can find. My favorite thing is going into a mission or a contract, doing a little bit of exploring, finding like a data pad or something, and getting like a pop-up for that data pad that's like, you found some new information, and tucking that away to knowing I can go and find it like later when I get back to my spaceship, and that starts a new contract that takes me in some direction that other people don't have because maybe they didn't run this event, so they never got to see that. Maybe they ran the event and passed over the data pad, so they didn't get to see it. That makes the game feel very special, unique, driven, like it depends on how you actually play as a player. And I think that stuff's important. They're kind of getting into that with some of these locations. I think Onyx was fairly good, but that whole linking of contracts thing, I'm thinking is something that depends on a purpose-built mission system, which they still have not purpose-built. So this is content drop 5 out of 6, we'll say 4 out of 6, 4 out of 5, whatever you want to call it. The one that I think might be coming with 4.9, though, is Siege of Orison. Something that a lot of us, I think, find very, very fun. Had a lot of fun playing when it first came out. It's not better than the original Xenothreat, but it's a close second for me in terms of like most exciting events. I'm going to give you guys just a chance to read through it, watch through it, whatever. See what Siege of Orison is, what it's going to be, and what you can expect. This isn't confirmed for 4.9, but I do think it's possible. And we'll talk about why that is in a second.
Let's go and find out what one of our first instances will be.
Siege of Orison was an event we did previously, which created a gameplay scenario where the player had to run through and progress through contested islands of Orison. This was a high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little bit from its technical execution. But now with the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it better for you and a small group to work through that activity.
It is an event that I had the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
And you are there to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization and take back control. So So in our current thinking, Siege of Orison is designed for about a 15 to 20 people fire team. So you, your friends, or your org will go in, you'll all have sort of dedicated roles. Some of you might be the tank who brings in the heavy weapons and sort of pulls the fire. Some of you might sit at the back and be the sniper and pick people off who are a bit further to make the advance easier. Some of you will be the medic who sole job is going to be revive and look after the rest of your team and the health of them. And some of you will be the people who push for the objectives to try and get sort of most of the mission done. The event was designed for about 15 to 30 people, but when we released it, we fixed the problem with 2 DGSs on one server that was fighting for resources. And with that, we also upped the player count to 100. So when it first debuted, it was already too full for what it was designed for.
It was a massive operation at the time. I think that bringing it back and giving it a refresher will be a fantastic addition back into the PU.
So imagine if Siege was a instance that you could go in and play solo, or if it was a public event that you could go with your friends, or you could join up with random players on the server. There's lots of ways that we want to take a look at Siege, how we can make it a more approachable piece of content.
I'm excited, to say the least, to bring back Siege of Orison to Star Citizen and to sort of have it be one of the first tests that we have for instancing and really get it back to sort of a core experience point where it should be. So while the next season is quite heavily focused on Nyx, I'm also very happy that we're not really ignoring our other 2 systems of Standard and Pyro, and we're going back there and we're sort of improving and expanding on the player's life in those 2 systems as well.
So
Yes.
a lot,
And while things like
a lot being said there. Stop that. So let's start with like what the original Siege of Orison was, which was pretty much a focus on FPS combat. They're sticking to that, and I think that immediately wipes out a lot of the community. Some people just really like the spaceship stuff. To be honest, a lot of folks probably look at this and think, why are we going more COD Citizen? Where's the spaceship stuff? And we could talk about Xenothreat and the disappointing nature of changes that we are going to see there in 4.8.3, but that's too close. We are obsessive space nerds. We want to talk about whatever the furthest possible away thing is. And there are rumors swirling, as has been noted in chat, that this is coming in 4.9. It's not been confirmed yet. The big tell is instancing. And while I don't think we've really heard too much about that, we have seen some stuff. The online technology team in their monthly reports have been working on instancing alongside the dynamic server meshing work. We can see here, there's an update. As usual, the team continued to provide ongoing support for Mission System V1. That is what I was talking about earlier, needs to come in with Starchitect to make new missions possible for us. I'm talking the ability to pick up missions based on location, the ability for a mission to have multiple objectives that can be tracked more easily by the game, the ability to gather missions from a mission board in a location. All of these things, I think, are a lot more heavily utilized with this new system, and I think this is coming in with Starchitect. But continuing, they said they are addressing design requests around instanced operations, per cycle item limits, and contract advertisement behaviors in instanced environments. So little bits of talk about instancing here and there. Again, online services team spent time in March supporting and improving the mission system, which powers in-game content like hauling and industrial missions, alongside instanced content. A key bug, we'll continue ahead here. The mission system was also expanded to support entity-owned missions, meaning non-player objects can act as mission owners, which opens the door for new types of instanced content. Again, this is what I'm talking about. This is like a pretty big sentence. Expanding missions so that non-player objects can act as mission owners means exactly what I said. If you find a data pad, that data pad can unlock a mission for you that gets stored in your object, in your database. We might have that functionality already. I don't think you get any missions from Onyx like that, but I might be wrong. But I think this gives us a lot more capability of receiving missions not from our mobiGlass. That's besides the point. All of this is really focused around instanced content and how much they've been talking about that. If we go even further back, let's hit up January of 2026. maybe February of 2026. Mission design team update in January said, looking forward, design work was completed on the revival of Siege of Orison. This was followed by a phase of rapid iteration to ensure that this first instance content is a great step forward. So that kind of confirms it, yeah? So Siege of Orison, definitely going to be the first version of an instance content. Instance content, definitely important for Star Citizen in 2026. Content drops, all we really have left are instanced things. The Municipal works, this, Siege of Orison, and Nyx 1. I do think, and I'm going to get to this a little later, that Mission Givers are also going to be an instance thing that comes in this year, and another potential content drop that highlights or headlines a patch. But Siege of Orison is clearly pretty important, and considering there's not really much else that they can start releasing this year, instancing work has been getting work done on it. Rumors are swirling. I think there's a good opportunity, good chance this is coming in July. One last update on instancing. The online technology team created a class that will change as they transition from static meshing and instancing to quasi-dynamic and then full dynamic server meshing. So quasi-dynamic is the new version of the static server meshing they did. It basically just allows for servers to be a little bit more nuanced in how they adjust to fit the players moving around the game. Instead of there being a bunch of servers that are set to specific areas, I believe now servers can grow and shrink. They can't move, but I think they can grow and shrink in size. So, plenty of talk going on around instance locations, and I think one of the other places that we might see it happen... Oh, here's one more mention, sorry. Again, online technologies. Instancing is entering its final stage of technical work before being passed down to downstream teams. That was in February. So for the last 3 months, they've been working on instancing, probably getting it actually working, preparing it to be put into the game, likely for Siege of Orison. Another place, though, that I think that another place they might do instancing pretty soon is... So listen to this. In the animation team in April, facial animation were on set for a 2-day shoot with motion capture and narrative teams. As part of this, they captured new content for Recco Battaglia, who will be returning to Levski with a new mission and 2 supporting characters. I believe this is our first mission giver coming back to the game. I think this is their first attempt at getting back to like truly narrative situations that don't require a mobiGlass, but give us a face to know, people to meet. They've been kind of working towards it with the voices on call and with Wicklow, but I think this is going to be their first big move to try and get a more traditional style NPC into the game, giving out missions, having conversations, stuff like that. And I think they're going to instance it. I don't know if they've explicitly said that they want to use instancing for mission givers, but it makes sense. You know, nobody wants to sit in a line for 20 minutes while everybody has a conversation, the same conversation with this person over and over again. So, along with the focus that we're seeing on Nyx this year, with all this stuff that's been going on, Nyx is obviously a big part of everything. Like, it's back here somewhere. Don't think they really talk about Recco, unfortunately, in here. Would have been a good time
to mine as much as they could, making a very slim margin by the sheer quantity of resources they were pulling out.
Man, I'm still waiting for the chance to have a mining operation that looks like this.
Resources they were pulling out.
You just never find this many resources that close together.
The system itself sort of ran its course from sort of a large corporate interest.
Let us actually go back and see what Recco Battaglia looks like. So this is less likely, in my opinion, for 4.9. So this is 3.9. Let's see what she did, though.
Wanting to see me? Ah, then you'll be wanting to see me. Name's Recco. I see to the boring fiddly bits for most of the miners work in the area. Dig site claims, equipment orders, more transfers and the like. For most jobs, the terminal will set you up. But if you're after something with a bit of hair on it, best to talk to me direct. If you'd like, I can see to setting you up with something now. Nothing too big, but it'll let us see how we feel about working together. Sound all right to you?
Hey, just turn around. I don't want to actually talk to your face.
I'll take a scan through now.
All right, so she is probably going to give us some kind of more interesting mining style missions in Nyx. Hopefully there's a storyline to it. Definitely going to be a little bit more interesting to get involved and really nice. And just an example, but I think this game is going to take several steps up when every city or every space station or every landing zone that you go to has somebody like this that can sort of ground you in the atmosphere. Besides that, for Alpha 4.9, there aren't a super huge ton of clues as to what exactly there might be, but you can go back into some of these core gameplay sections and see what people were working on. And that kind of will tell you. So inventory rework was being worked on back in February. Capital ship services also progressed. That came in May. So you can get a sense of how far things... It's really risky to actually think like that. I wouldn't say make predictions based off of that, but set expectations on it. So you could see what kind of stuff maybe they were talking about. Ship hangar services, yes. Refueling, yes, we saw that. Vehicle component crafting, we also saw that. Starware progressed, with the team preparing for an internal demonstration showcasing the ability to customize characters using a variety of clothing and armor pieces. Maybe a 4.9 kind of thing. Starware would be a great first implementation. They've already started getting armor stats in the game. To be quite honest, with flight suits coming in, being another potential way to change armor based on what you're using, we've also got the combat crosshairs. We might start seeing more of those type of things. I would expect to see little bits of customization that build off the features we've been seeing put into the game over the past several months. But let's see what they said in April's monthly report. Obviously, May's monthly report is going to be the most telling. We'll be getting that on Wednesday, so if you guys want to keep up with that and see what they told us, I'll probably stream it to you on Thursday if you'd like to come and join me live for that. No, this is April. So yeah, that was the last bit that we got, was just Starware. So maybe we'll see something Starware related. Maybe that's really the most we'll see. At least like in terms of new features. In March, they were progressing through hacking, with devs polishing items, improving the tutorial, and ensuring the UI is always correctly aligned to the player. That's crazy, man. I think I just blocked this out of my mind to not think about it, because when they talk about hacking, what's actually going to happen with it, you know? Just going to read about it again in 8 months. Hacking's always a possibility, but I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it. Let's see, they got significant work done on crafting. We saw that come into the game. Crafting machines, engineering updates, refueling mechanic, Drake command module, the transport system. All of those we've seen. Mission system, we have not seen that. Here it's talking about the mission system V2. Okay. Man. CIG. Y'all can't be using different words for these things. I'm pretty sure we just read another monthly report where they called it Mission System 1 or something like that. Missions version 1. Anyways, this is going to include Starkitect, like we talked about earlier, and the ability to dynamically create mission locations without designer intervention. We saw that. That was what we talked about earlier, where they make missions based not on characters. Ship hangar services were also in there. That's about it. So in terms of features we've been hearing about in monthly reports but haven't seen, we've got hacking. We've got Starware. We've got Mission System V2. We have Starkitect. But that's mostly it this year. So I think we'll probably see some economy movement in 4.9. I think we're definitely going to see Siege of Orison, maybe a mission giver. A lot of it, I think, will probably be building on the features that they've been putting in these last couple patches. But that's really what we know so far. I'll let you know when something else has come out. I mean, we'll have a roadmap roundup in a couple days, so I'll see you back for that.